That loaf of bread sitting on your counter right now might look like a harmless staple, but what if I told you it's actually a slow-acting metabolic nightmare? We've been conditioned to think of bread as the staff of life, but for most Americans, it's become a staff of chronic inflammation and hidden toxins. In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose the dark reality of the industrial bread industry. From the cancer-linked chemicals used to bleach your flour to the hidden sugars that are spiking your insulin before you even finish your first bite. If you care about your gut health, your brain fog, or your long-term longevity, you cannot afford to ignore what's really inside that plastic bag. I've spent weeks tracking the laboratory data and supply chain secrets behind America's biggest bakeries, and what I found will make you rethink your next sandwich. So pay close attention as we pull back the curtain on the industry's most profitable poisons. If you're ready to stop being a patient and start being a consumer, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're exposing the secrets the big bakeries pay millions to hide. Don't miss a single revelation. Welcome to Everyday Eats Exposed. Most people think bread is just bread, but the stuff on your grocery store shelves today is a far cry from what our ancestors ate. Modern commercial bread is essentially a highly processed chemical sponge. Let's talk about the generalized negative points that apply to almost every major brand you see in the bread aisle. First, we have to address the enriched flour trap. When you see enriched on a label, it sounds like a good thing, right? Wrong. It means the grain was processed so intensely that every natural nutrient was stripped away, leaving a white powder that your body treats exactly like pure sugar. To make it healthy again, they spray on synthetic vitamins that your body barely absorbs. But it gets worse. Most commercial brands use azodicarbonamide, the same chemical used to make yoga mats and shoe soles, just to make the dough easier to process in massive machines. Then there's potassium bromate, a flour improver that has been banned in the UK, Canada, and the EU because it's a known carcinogen, yet it's still perfectly legal in the US. These chemicals lead to leaky gut syndrome, where your intestinal lining becomes permeable, allowing toxins to leak into your bloodstream. This is why so many people feel bloated, tired, and foggy after eating a simple sandwich. You aren't gluten sensitive, you're likely being poisoned by industrial additives. And let's talk about the hidden sugar. Have you ever wondered why store-bought bread stays soft for weeks? It's packed with high fructose corn syrup and soybean oils. These inflammatory fats combined with sugar create a metabolic storm that causes systemic inflammation, leading to skin breakouts, joint pain, and weight gain that seems impossible to lose. Now let's get into the heavy hitters, the 8 brands that represent the absolute worst of the industry. First on our list of shame is Nature's Own. While they market themselves with wholesome imagery of sun-drenched wheat fields, recent 2026 investigations by health advocates in Florida have identified triple-digit levels of glyphosate in their butter bread and perfectly crafted white varieties. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup weed killer. When you eat this, you aren't just getting wheat, you're getting a pesticide residue that scientists link to liver inflammation and a destroyed gut microbiome. They use dough conditioners like datum and monoglycerides to achieve that perfect texture, which are basically industrial shortcuts that bypass the natural fermentation process your gut needs. Second, we have Sara Lee. Their honey wheat bread is often a go-to for parents, but it's a metabolic trap. Testing in early 2026 found that Sara Lee honey wheat contained some of the highest glyphosate levels of any national brand, nearly 191 parts per billion. Beyond the pesticides, Sara Lee utilizes diacetyltartaric acid esters of mono and diglycerides, also known as E472E. These are emulsifiers that can contribute to systemic inflammation and have been flagged for containing trace amounts of artificial trans fats. You think you're giving your child a healthy lunch, but you're actually serving them a cocktail of herbicides and synthetic fats. Third is the iconic Wonder Bread. It's the poster child for the enriched flour problem. Wonder Bread is so devoid of natural fiber that it has a glycemic index similar to a candy bar. It causes an immediate insulin spike, followed by a crash that leaves you hungry an hour later. Their classic white variety was also flagged in the 2026 Healthy Florida First initiative for concerning levels of glyphosate. By the time this bread is processed, it's closer to a science experiment than a food product. Fourth, we have Pepperidge Farm. Many people view this as a premium choice, but don't let the fancy packaging fool you. Their garlic breads and specialized loaves often contain palm oil and high levels of saturated fats, leading to ultra-processed classifications. Some of their whole grain varieties have even been flagged for potential arsenic contamination from rice-based ingredients used as fillers. They use natural flavors, which is a legal loophole allowing them to hide a complex mixture of laboratory-created chemicals that manipulate your taste buds into craving more. Fifth is Bimbo Bread. As one of the largest bakery corporations in the world, Bimbo focuses on mass production and shelf stability above all else. This means their bread is loaded with preservatives like calcium propionate and sorbic acid. While these prevent mold, they also interfere with your natural gut bacteria. Constant consumption of these preservatives is like taking a tiny dose of antibiotics every single day, leading to long-term digestive issues and weakened immunity. Sixth on the list is Sun-Maid Cinnamon Raisin Bread. People buy this thinking the fruit makes it healthy, but it is effectively a dessert. It is roughly 19% sugar by weight. One slice can contain 2 teaspoons of added and natural sugars, leading to rapid tooth decay and blood sugar instability. To keep those raisins soft and the bread fluffy, they use a laundry list of additives including soy lecithin and genetically engineered corn syrups that provide zero nutritional value and plenty of metabolic stress. Seventh is Martin's Potato Rolls. These are a cult favorite for burgers, but they are a nutritional disaster. They contain reconstituted potatoes and cane sugar syrup, making them incredibly calorie-dense with almost no fiber. They also utilize dough conditioners like sodium stearoyl lactylate and contain ingredients derived from animals likely treated with antibiotics and growth promoters. Eating these is a fast track to inflammation and weight gain. Eighth, and finally, ballpark buns. These are highly processed white breads that use malted barley flour and enriched wheat flour to create a product that is almost entirely simple carbohydrates. They are loaded with sodium, often 280 milligrams per bun, which contributes to high blood pressure and water retention. Like the others, they rely on datum and monoglycerides to stay squishy on the shelf for weeks, which is a major red flag that the product is not real food. However, it's not all doom and gloom. If you want to keep bread in your diet, you need to be extremely selective.